watched the last video, you have seen we did a CM Punk top 10 matches we want to see in this next run from them. In today's video, we have Randy Orton, who also returned at Survivor Series. Again, if you didn't watch the last video, I recommend watching that video to get the idea what we're doing here. But to quickly explain it, we both have 10 matches we want to see from Randy Orton. And yeah, we're going to go back and forth. I'll go first. In my number 10, I have Carmelo Hayes. I mentioned him in the CM Punk video. Again, I think this could be a great match between Randy and Carmelo. Randy does particularly well with lightweights as well, and I think with Carmelo's high-flying ability, it's a great spot for a potential great RKO moment as well, which seems to always do good. But yeah, that is my number 10.
Alright, last time my number 10, it was like a kind of oddball one. I went with a tag team, but this time I went with an even more oddball one, I guess, because it's not going to happen ever probably. But him and Chris Jericho, one more feud would be really cool. Yeah, that's my 10th pick. Not too much to say about that, y'all. Everyone knows the reasons why. They're both great. They both have a past with each other. And I feel like one more feud would be really cool before both of them end eventually.
Yeah, I like that one. My number 9, I have Dragon Lee, the newcomer to WWE. Who has quickly elevated from a quick stint in NXT, which I think a lot of people thought would be longer, but now is already on the main roster, having great matches on SmackDown, had a great match at Survivor Series with Santos Escobar, and is quickly impressing and is quickly climbing up the ranks, I think. I think W sees a lot of potential in him, and he seems to be what they hope is the next big luchador for them, the next great mass wrestler, because Rey Mysterio has so many years left. I think that is the person he's going to pass the torch to, I think. And Dragon Lee and Randy, I think, have a phenomenal match.
Yeah. Alright, and then for mine, I have AJ Styles. Just, they haven't really done too much with each other. I know they have in the past, obviously have matches. But I like to have one just big, huge feud between the two. Like potential like a Mania type of feud. But yeah, I would like to see that. I think AJ Styles, obviously we haven't seen him in quite a while. Yeah. I'd like to see him back soon, obviously, for this to happen. But yeah, it'd be great to see them two do one big match, like I don't know what kind, what stipulation or what, whatever it would be. Yeah. But I like one big feud with him and AJ.
For my number 8, I have a personal favorite, and I kind of just want this because I think it's just one we haven't seen yet, and I think could be really fun. It's Johnny Gargano. I love Johnny. I think he's a very underrated wrestler just because he hasn't been able to show off. I think people kind of forget what he was able to do in NXT. But yeah, I think Randy and Johnny could be a great match.
Alright, and for me, I have Carmelo Hayes. So I'm a little bit higher than what you have him, but pretty much for the same reasons. But I think it would be a great way to put him over. Obviously, they did a thing with Taker already, and he talked about it on Twitter a little bit in an interview that I seen. That was like a big moment for him, and he mentioned Randy Orton as well, that he would love to do something with him. So I kind of like for him to kind of have that moment.
Yeah. For my number 7, I have Shinsuke Nakamura. We have seen this before, I'm pretty sure. But I think seeing it again with a new, edgier kind of Shinsuke Nakamura could be really fun. And I think a good feud you can get out of this is kind of have Randy bring out the meaner side of Shinsuke, really trying to get the meanest version of him. Because I think Randy, being one of the most menacing wrestlers we've seen really of all time, I would say, maybe. I think, especially, people always call back to 2009 where he was the biggest menace, people say. And I think he can really bring out a Shinsuke and really turn Shinsuke from that heel that could be bad to the heel that is one of the baddest,
Alright, and for me, I have Jey Uso next. That's somebody who obviously he's gonna go through everybody from what we're recording this the day after the Raw, after Survivor Series. And he talked about how he was gonna go through every member of the bloodline, and obviously that's gonna be Jey Uso, going to be one of the main ones that he'll target first, I assume, with him being on Raw. So I think that'll be very interesting.
Yeah. For my number 6, I have a match that we have done before, and as you mentioned, he's probably going to go through the bloodline. but he's ultimately going to try to get back at Roman Reigns, and that's who I have at my number 6. I think there's a good story there. Just continue where you left off. Really try to have Randy get back, and also try to get, I think, his 10th world champion, I believe, and climb up the ranks even more because he's already one of the highest world title or number of world titles. So might as well try to have him add on. He probably won't win, obviously, depending on what timeline it is. But yeah, I think him and Roman have a great match.
Alright, and next for me, I have Logan Paul. Obviously, he's gonna be on like damn near all of my lists like this, just because I like to see him versus all the the greats. And I think there's a lot that he can learn from Randy Orton. Obviously, I mean, if there's something in his bag, he has it all. He can learn it all from him. So I think that'd just be a very cool feud to have.
Yeah. So for my number 5, I have Sami Zayn. These are two guys who are way different, or at least one of them is way different from the last time we saw him. Sami Zayn went from a guy who was just floating around the mid card most of his time, is now a guy who is still coming off of a world title match with Roman Reigns earlier in the year. He was just in the big War Games match. Obviously, we just seen where he teamed up with Randy. He's been in main events pretty much throughout the entire year on pay-per-views or PLEs now. And yeah, I think it'll just be a really fun match. Sami Zayn's also really good on the mic, and he can also hold his own there.
Alright, and for me, I have Jey Uso. Obviously, that's probably what we're going to go into first with Randy Orton. He kind of hinted at that. We're recording this the Raw after Survivor Series. So he kind of hinted towards that, saying he's going to go after all of the bloodlines. So I'd assume Jay's first, being that they're both on Raw, as of right now at least. But yeah, I assume we're going to get that first, and I think it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, for my number 4, I'm going with Gunther. He is one of the best in the world in the ring, and I think he brings out the best in a lot of people. We've kind of seen that with Chad Gable, we've seen that with The Miz, we've seen that with Ricochet, we've seen that with pretty much everybody he's been in the ring with. I think Randy would probably be no different, and I think Randy can also provide really pushing Gunther to the edge, or pushing Gunther to the max on the mic, because we have seen Gunther a little bit test him with The Miz and a few other people. But I think with Randy, we're really get an even better test from him and really prove how good Gunther is, or how much he's improved on the mic. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun feud as well, with a great match at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't have Gunther on my list, but that would be a good one. And that would be actually a good person to take the belt off of him if you needed somebody to kind of go in between from this person to this person. He's like a good person to kind of take it from Gunther, but then put over whoever the next one is,
Yeah.
But next for me, I have something, that we might get, maybe not, who knows, but John Cena. Obviously, they have plenty of matches in the past, but it would be cool to see them both one more time, whether it's Cena's last match, Randy's last match, or, whatever it is. That would just be a fun one to do.
Yeah. For my number 3, a match we have done before. It was also a Mania match. It's versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion. I'd like to see them go for it, especially if you have Randy win that match. Having the belt go from Seth to Randy, kind of like how you said with Gunther to Randy. It's a great transitional champion, or just a permanent champion, in my opinion. And yeah, I think just for that belt to have that much prestige and that much honor already in just 2 reigns would be, I think, really good. Obviously, kind of depends on how well that reign goes with Randy. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great match, and we know that it's going to be a good match because we've seen it before, and all the mic skills will also be there, I think, as well.
Alright, and for me, I have Bobby Lashley. Obviously, Lashley's one of my favorites. Randy Orton's in my top 10 for sure, 15, something like that. But yeah, it would just be great to see them. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that one. They're both just great. They've obviously had matches before, but Lashley really hasn't been doing a whole lot recently. He's kind of just damn near a manager to the Street Profits recently. So it'd be cool to see him in a main event type of picture, kind of,
Yeah. For my number 2 is a guy who is coming off the back of a tag team with Cena, and that is LA Knight. LA Knight is seeming to be the next Cena, even though he's, a very much older than what Cena was when he was getting as hot as he is. LA Knight is phenomenal on the mic. We already know this. In the ring, he isn't all there. I think Randy could be able to push him and be able to carry him throughout a match because Randy has been able to do that in the past. Obviously, you kind of hope Randy's still going to do that even after his injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a phenomenal match and phenomenal mic battles as well.
And for mine, I have CM Punk. I was kind of going back and forth between my number 2 and my 3. I was kind of putting them over each other. But I swapped them again as of right now, and I'm putting CM Punk at number 3. Probably something that's gonna happen. I don't know if that was the hint whenever he came out during his return as well. They came back in the same night, obviously at Survivor Series. So I don't know if that's like a hint that they're gonna do that. Maybe, probably not, because it's probably Seth. But yeah, I'd like to see them too as well.
For my number 1, I have Cody Rhodes. I mean, it's a match that is probably inevitable, whether that's Cody's final feud before Roman and being at that final test for his mentor, basically, or it's his first feud after he wins the belt, hopefully, from Roman. But for everybody to see a Texas Bull Rope match, Randy has beaten Dusty in a Texas Bull Rope match at Bash 2007, so I think it could be a good callback. And just maybe not the first match you get from them too, but maybe like a second or third, and kind of have different stipulations each match. And I just think it'd be fun because either way, just Randy and Cody Rhodes is inevitable and should be a fun, good match.
Yeah, I mean everything that you said. Obviously, their fathers have history as well within the wrestling business, and they're legends in their own rights. And it's pretty safe to say that their sons are going to be no different. So yeah, it'd just be amazing to see that.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching our video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know your top 10 matches you want to see from Randy Orton. What was your favorite match that we listed? But yeah, we'll be trying to uploading every day in December. And yeah, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.